everybody. Today I'm going to be reading the parable of the unjust steward and kind of explaining a little bit what it means. I don't think I'm going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to read the most important parts. So, there was a certain rich man who had a steward, and an accusation was brought to him that this man was wasting his goods. So this steward, let's put this in the context real quick. The certain rich man, let's say that's God, and the steward is the servants, us, God's servants, and he's squandering his goods. He's wasting his goods. That's like squandering God's grace, just throwing God's grace around willy-nilly, saying we're saved by favor, the burden of the Lord, the burden of the Lord. And the master says, "What is this I hear about you? Give an account of your stewardship, for you can no longer be steward." Then the steward said within himself, "What shall I do? For my master is taking the stewardship away from me. I cannot dig, I am ashamed to beg. I have resolved what to do, that when I am put out of the stewardship, they may receive me into their houses." So he called every one of his master's debtors to him, and said to the first, "How much do you owe my master?" And he said, 100 measures of oil. So he said to him, "Take your bill, and sit down quickly, and write 50. Then he said to another, "How much do you owe?" And he said, 100 measures of wheat. And he said to him, "Take your bill and write 80. So the master commended the unjust steward, because he had dealt wisely. For the sons of this world are wiser in their generation than the sons of light." So, take that in for a second. We just established up there in verse 1 that this servant was squandering the goods. He was, throwing God's grace around, and he got called out for it. And he gets really worried, and he starts telling these people, just write a check for half. And you'd think that that would be a bad thing, but if you not writing the check at all, throwing God's grace around, is saying that we're saved by favor. Once saved, always saved. All you got to do is be baptized. All you got to do is believe. And then writing the full check would be going to the right, saying we're going to start doing the feast. We're going to start wearing zeets. This is what you have to do. Start doing sacrifices again, because this is what you owe God. Writing the full amount. This is everything you owe. This is everything you have to do. But that check for half, that's just the 10 Commandments and rebuke. He started going around and rebuking people and telling them to follow the 10 Commandments. And because of this, he's wiser than the children of light. And I think we just need to start taking this a little more seriously as, things start to come down the pipeline. Things are getting worse and worse. We're living in a toilet bowl right now. We need to start writing that check for half, and we need to start rebuking people and telling them to follow the 10 Commandments, because otherwise they're just gonna, get burned. God's gonna turn the heat up on the United States, and, we're the only ones here. People need to go around and start telling people the truth and teaching the truth, because there's not many of us that are out here speaking the truth and telling people what needs to be said. So, just a little personal testimony. I've been struggling lately, and I've been slacking, and, I saw Brother Mark go out in front of people and tell them the truth, and it really inspired me to start doing the same thing even stronger. And so, I think we all need to become that unjust steward and start writing those check for half. That's probably the most important thing we can do right now.